Okay, I know what you're gonna say. Couple things. One, yes, I know I'm late. Alright, calm down. I know I'm late to the party. Apologies. I had stuff to do, okay? You know? I had a stream to do and whatever, whatnot, you know? Alright, so, besides that, now I'm a cat, welcome. If you were not on the stream, this is gonna be your first time seeing this. I know you don't care, but, you know, just so you know, there was a very positive reception to being basically a PNG tuber. Apparently it's very popular, so I'm gonna keep this little guy around. So, you know, beyond that, we're just gonna go right into it. We have, what? 4 things. We have 4 events, event stuff, to review. And then there's, what, patch notes or something. Really cool. Then there's, like, what? Event intro or something, and then there's compensation for stuff, and then there's changes. There's a lot of stuff to do, I think. So there's like 4 or 5 things to look over. So, you know, a lot of news, but we'll go right in. I know you don't I know you're not here for the Popcat. You're here for the content. So, let's see here. Question mark Boatworks fixer. Ishmael. I guess they're hiding it. They're gonna... Dude, everyone's been like, dude, it's the Molar office. It's the Molar office, Pog. They're bringing back Molar office. Guys, I don't think you understand. If they're bringing back Molar office, the Molar office is not going to be long for this world, bro. You do not want them to bring back Molar office. Those characters, I thought you liked those characters. They are not gonna survive. Their asses are not gonna survive if they bring them back. Side characters in Project Moon games do not ever survive. So, I don't think you want that. Anyways, what do we have? Pierce, sure. And then, you know, there's, we got, Pride, Sloth, and Gloom. I like this Sin lineup, honestly. It's really good, especially, dude, Pride skill 1, Pog. The only problem is you're gonna have to compete. Like, the thing is, this Ishmael ID is going to have to compete with Reindeer at Uptie 4. It's going to have to compete with She-Section Ishmael. It's going to have to compete with LCCB Ishmael. You know, possibly at Uptie 4. Depends on your taste. I don't think LCCB Ishmael at Uptie 4 is, like, that drastically more powerful than her Uptie 3 version. But, you know, maybe. But Reindeer at Uptie 4 gets a massive improvement. And then you're going to have to compete with Liu Ishmael. So it's like, dude, you have some stiff competition here. Molar Office, Boatworks, Fixer, Ishmael. This is going to be a toughie. But Pride Skill 1, we're already off to a good start. I'm glad to see it. We have Coin Power 2, or 2 coins, 3 coins. Promising. Pretty standard. Literally, like, pretty standard, though. Alright. And remember, this is, these images, like, as a whole, these images are at Uptie 4. We learned with the Sankdan. These images show the unit stats at Uptie 4, so I wish they didn't. I wish they showed it at Uptie 3, because that's going to be the most accessible, but it is what it is. We'll have to review it at Uptie 4. I wish they released these at Uptie 3, but it is what it is. Anyways, on use, gain X tremor count. On hit, gain X tremor count. On hit, inflict sinking. So, okay. It's going to be one of those. Same with Spice Bush. The only reason that, like, this exists just so that you can't charge her with other charge IDs, right? Like, you can't charge her with W Faust passive. You can't charge her with Teledon, or anything like that. It's just to prevent it from, it's just to prevent it from being, like, super synergistic, right? They want to keep her power mostly self-contained. Same with Spice Bush, otherwise you could turbo out his AoE very quickly, which would be really awesome, but pretty strong. So, you know, they give you basically, they give you Tremor as just charge, but it doesn't say charge. So it functions identically, but it doesn't have the synergies, which is fine, but you know, obviously makes her a lot weaker than if she was a charge ID, but, you know, I don't have a problem with it. Syncing ID. Great. Wow. I love syncing. Syncing did get a fair amount of support, recently. Mostly it's just Spice Bush, he inflicts a little more. And then Rhyme Shank, especially the overclock Rhyme Shank inflicts like 10 by 10. Here, we can go look. Rhyme Shank, yeah, so like the Thread Spin tier 4 Rhyme Shank now inflicts 5 by 5. And then the overclock inflicts 10 by 8, which is like, whew, you know, as well as dealing solid damage. Don't get me wrong, the Rhyme Shank damage was already fine. So, you know, sheesh, that's like the best sinking support we have right now. But the problem is it's Rhyme Shank. It's the main problem, is that, you know, it's pretty expensive, unfortunately, so you can't really spam it that much. Again, like, we don't really like our egos to be heavy on one resource, and having a 5 gloom cost, and then you have to overclock it. I don't exactly recall if when you overclock, does it round up or down? So, like, would it cost like 8? I think it would cost like 8 gloom to overclock this consistently, and 8 gloom is like, that is a steep price, let me tell you. So, I mean, it's fine. And then, like, so it's like Spice Bush, and then Rhyme Shank, and then, like, you know, Reindeer is like the other, you know, fair, sinking ID. But obviously you can't run Reindeer with the, Harpoon Ishmael, so it's like, okay, well, whatever. Excuse me. Anyways, at X plus Tremor count, gain coin power plus Y. Sure, same thing. That's fine. Inflict X Tremor count. Gain Y Tremor count. Y as in, like, these two are the same number? Or what? Yeah, probably not, but, you know, interesting. Sure. And then inflict X sinking, inflict Y defense level down next turn. Seems pretty decent. Defense level down is not a crazy good debuff unless it's insane. It's an insane amount. Like, unless this is a crazy amount of defense level down, it's not going to be an insane level of defense, or extra damage. I mean, it's mostly, like, I'm still thinking of the opportunity cost of, you know, like, I wish it wasn't sinking for the most part. Like, I don't know. Probably would rather it be Rupture. Because, you know, we can't ever get enough Rupture support. Because Rupture is just, like, the most... That buff is just on life support, basically. Like, the amount of stacking you need to do in order to get anything out of it. So, it's like, and defense level down is better after the update, but still not, like, not crazy. Defense level down scales pretty poorly once you get into the future, because once enemies start scaling up and their defense level goes up, like right now, like let's say you have an enemy with, like, you know, let's say you have an enemy with like 10 defense level, right? And this inflicts like -2, right? Like -2 defense level. It inflicts like 2 defense level down or something, right? That's like, you know, pretty big, right? You're moving 20% of this guy's defense level, right? You're moving 20% of this guy's defense level. But let's say you get into the future and there's enemies with, like, you know, 100 defense level, right? And this is like, you know, okay, I'm removing 2. You're removing 2% of this guy's defense level. That shit is not good. So, you know, as the game lives, like, longer, this will get worse. But it's not really a problem for the foreseeable future. It's just interesting to point out, like, just something to know, you know. Anyways, at X plus Tremor count, coin power plus Y. Sure. If target is X plus sinking, deal plus Y% damage. Seems pretty standard. Not like, not like an insane, if by the way, if target, sure. Seems fine. Well, this, like, hard depends on this threshold. Basically, is this like a reasonable amount of sinking? Like, can she apply this amount of sinking reasonably on her own? Because this is her only skill that inflicts sinking. This inflicts sinking count, so it's like we don't take those. we don't take those. So this literally depends on, can she set this up for herself reliably, or does she need external support? If it's like, you know, a little bit of external support, maybe Spice Push could help. But once we start getting to like, well, you need to use Rhyme Shank to set up, it's like, you lost me there. So, we'll see. And then, you know, whatever with these. This just hard depends on numbers. Nothing to really say about that. I can't really say whether I think that's good or bad. It just depends on the numbers. On hit, inflict plus X sinking count. Sure. On hit, inflict sinking. Spend tremor count to inflict fragile. Okay, wait, now we're talking. And it inflicts fragile again. So this might be, I mean, hopefully this is like good, like really good, because this is an insane potential payoff for sinking. So now it's like, you know, I just said you lost me with Rhyme Shank. You might have found me again. It depends on the payoff. Rhyme Shank does do solid amounts of damage, and then Risky Judgment could just be like suppress. If this is like, if this Y, it depends on if they're scared or not to make this Y2. If they make this 1, because that's what they did with Sunshower Heathcliff. I was like, dude, that could be crazy. And then they made his fragile 1. I'm like, dude, okay, that's messed up. And now he is useless. But, you know, if this Y ends up being 2, and this can inflict up to 4 fragile, genuinely probably could replace LCCB as like a setup utility option, which would be really exciting. Like this number needs to be good, basically, for this ID to be meta. This number needs to be good. Beyond like anything else, like don't care about anything else. This number needs to be good. So you know. Beyond that, if it is, let's assume it is. Like, let's say this is 2, and then let's say, like, you know, spend X tremor count. Like, how the hell are you even getting to X tremor count? Like, you'd have to, there's no way, like, this is the only way she has to gain tremor count. Oh, I know, her skill 2 can gain it, I guess. So, you know, we can gain a little bit, but, like, it spends it twice. Like, it spends tremor count twice, so, I don't know. Because the way it looks like to me is you're supposed to use, like, Explosive Blast, like, 2 times at least. Like, you know, at least, like, 1 skill 1 and 1 skill 2 in order to use this. Hopefully, you know, it's not that bad, but, like, just the way that it's laid out, it looks like you would need a fair amount of tremor count. Like, more than just 1 usage of this skill would give. So, this is going to be a slow-ass setup tool, if I had to guess. Probably like a 3-turn setup. You probably do double Explosive Blast into Risky Judgment in an ideal scenario. Or like, you know, you do 1 Explosive Blast, 1 Ready to Crush, and then you go into Risky Judgment, and then like turn 4 you'd have Fragile. Like, I don't know. That seems crazy slow. I don't know. Probably not better than Reindeer, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. Probably not going to be better than Reindeer. Probably not going to be better than Liu Ishmael. Yeah, we'll see if it's it has potential to be better than LCCB, and it has potential to be better than She Section, because those are like, you know, both of those are very specialized, so she could be better than them just on pure merit of being a generalist. But I don't know, she seems kind of she seems kind of slow for like fast play, so it is what it is. Nimble Steps. On use, gain Rupture Protection. Take -1 X damage per count from Rupture effects for 1 turn. Are you kidding? What is this? What is this? I mean, you're like almost never using Evade skill, so like, it doesn't matter, but like, why did they feel the need to add this? I mean, I imagine it's literally just to counter the specific event. Like, I assume the event is just going to be heavy on Rupture, but like, dude, why did they feel like they need to add this very, very specific debuff, or very specific buff, just to this ID's evade skill? Like, huh? Whatever. Crushing Crabs. On hit against target with Tremor, inflict +X sinking count? Sinking count? Again, like, it does not help us get to Risky Judgment activation, so... I mean, it helps keep your sinking stack alive, which is definitely something. Especially because, like, again, we don't really, this ID is not a Tremor ID. Inflict Tremor count is literally just a mark, basically. It's a marking mechanic. You mark the enemy, and then you activate your passive and give them a ton of sinking. So, you know, seems pretty good as a sinking support. Like, just a sinking ID in general seems fine, but sinking is not the greatest debuff, so I don't really care for it that much. But whatever. Seems pretty solid, though. I see the vision. I see what they're going for. It's pretty interesting. You inflict Tremor count, but you're not actually using it for the Tremor. Again, it's just a separate... It's just a mark. It's kind of like Charge, the Charge style Tremor count. This is not ever meant to be bursted. Like, you're not actually using Tremor for the Tremor. You're using it just so that you can mark the opponent, for the sinking count with the passive. So it's kind of neat. When an ally with the lowest max HP hits heads coins, they inflict +X sinking count when inflicting Tremor count on their target. Seems like extremely niche. Like, extremely niche. When an ally with the lowest max HP hits with heads coins. Lowest max HP. I mean, you know, seems... that's fine. Lowest max HP, we've dealt with it before. It's not awful. Inflict +X sinking count when inflicting Tremor count with their target and coin effects. Remind me how much health Rose Banner Rogia has. That's the only thing that really matters. Like, the only thing that really matters is, like, how much health Rose Banner Rogia has. As soon as we figure this out, 161. That's like... Remind me? 161? Yeesh. Remind me it's at level 30. That's the stats I know. 148. There are, like, Rabbit has less than that. Encore Faust has less than that. Like, again, because Rose Banner Rogia is the only one who, Rose Banner Rogia is the only one who would really benefit from this, like, mainly. Like, on a general basis, this is, like, the only ID that benefits from this, unless you're bringing explicitly, like, a Tremor team. So, not very good. It's also, you know, I don't know, it's just extremely niche. I don't think the support passive is very good at all. Again, I'm comparing it to, like, Reindeer mostly. Reindeer support passive is, like, turbo cracked. If you don't know what Reindeer support passive is, people were bringing this guy and this girl, I guess, this fellow in line 1 just for this. Ally with the least sanity deals plus 10% blunt damage. People were bringing this in line 1 just so that N-Corp Sinclair could deal 10% blunt damage. And now that she's actually really strong in battle, like, I don't see a world when you would ever not bring her. Pretty much. Unless the meta is so fast. I doubt it would be. But unless the meta was so fast that LCCB was better. But I feel like Reindeer, like, the thing is, I was bringing Reindeer in my runs, even, like, even before we got to, like, the final stretch of Railway. I was bringing Reindeer in my runs even before Uptide 4, obviously. I was bringing her at Uptide 3, and she was still really good. As long as you know how to play with her. She was way more clunky at that time, obviously, but I still used her to, like, really good success. So now that she's like, turbo buffed because of Uptide 4, I think she's definitely the meta. The only time LCCB would be better than Reindeer is if the meta is so fast that almost every stage is just 2 turns long, so that the only thing that matters is the turn 1 pop-off, basically. That's, like, the only time it would matter, because beyond that, in my opinion, even during line 1, in my opinion, Reindeer was almost superior in any stage that lasted more than, like, 3 turns. Reindeer was vastly superior to LCCB. So, you know, she has some really steep competition, even as a sinking support. Like she is a dedicated sinking support, and you know she is like a sinking support with a real payoff for team synergy, which is what you like to see. You know, you don't want an ID that just, you know, stays in their lane, so to speak. Like, you know, you don't want an ID that just stays in sinking, because otherwise they have very, very little flexibility. And it's not very exciting. But because she has team play, I'm pretty excited. Uh, Beyond that, I mean, overall, her kit rating, this is at Uptie 4 again, by the way, the preview, as I said before. I'd say the kit rating itself is going to be like, probably like a 6 out of 10, I'd say, like a 6 out of 10. It has potential, but there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables. We need to know, again, her tremor income. We need to know the payoff for this and this. We need to know the threshold for this. And we need to know how much fragile she inflicts. More than anything. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that matters. Like, also, this sinking count kind of matters. Not as much, though. And, you know, this tremor count income as well. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that depends on numbers. And, like, a lot of it could be, weak. Like, you know, what if any of these numbers are low, she kind of falls apart. I'm not going to say falls apart, but, like, you know, gain plus X tremor count, you know, if she doesn't gain enough, then she's never getting over this and this, right? And never getting over this, right? If there's not enough fragile being inflicted, then there's no real payoff to the kit besides coin power, right? If there's not enough sinking being inflicted, then, you know, she can't ever get good damage. You know, it's like, or maybe the damage is not good enough to even be worth playing around. Like, there's so many things that could go wrong. I'd probably give her like a 6 out of 10. She has potential, but it's highly dependent on a lot of different variables in her kit. And then meta rating out of 10, I'd probably say like a 3. Like a 2 or a 3. Like, I don't think she's going to be meta. The odds of her being meta are very low. Because she has some very strict competition. Reindeer and LCCB, mostly. I'd say, like, she has some very strict competition. I don't know. But she does look funny. So sure. Then we have Soda Honglu. Is that really what it's called? Soda Honglu? You couldn't have come up with a better name than that? Okay, whatever. So we have Wellcheers Honglu, Tet tier. So it's competing with, what's it called? Rosette Desire. Rosette Desire got pretty damn good, I'd say. It's kind of eating good nowadays, as an AoE at Thread Spin 4. Inflicting a solid amount of defense down, and being pretty dirt cheap. 4 Lust is not exactly what we like to see, but, you know, if you're using Ting Tang, which is, you know, his best ID, generally speaking, it's his best ID, you know, you can probably turbo this out kind of frequently, because Ting Tang fully supports it, and you're going to be using Shank quite a bit, so, you know, that's pretty neat. Anyways. So this is competing with that, which is neat. It is what it is. Blunt ID, or Blunt Ego. I don't remember if this is AoE. I don't think it's AoE. I don't remember from the trailer, but we'll see. Why is it freaking purple? Heads attack end? Why is this purple? Heal 2 allies with the lowest HP percentage for X HP. So it's like a healing support ego. I'm kind of down with that. Tails attack end. Heal 2 allies with the lowest sanity for X sanity. So you can only play one of these. Crit attack end? Why crit attack end? Heal the ally with the lowest HP percentage for S HP. Heal the ally with the lowest sanity for Y HP. How are you even getting... How are you getting crit? How are you critting with this? He doesn't have a single ID that has poise. If I, like... I'm not even going to say if I remember correctly, because I just know I'm remembering correctly. There, what? LCB Sinner? Not even LCB Sinner? What is that? What is that? I don't understand, bro. I don't understand. What is the purpose of this? So either you're playing for the heads hit or the tails hit. You can never get both. Heal 2 allies with lowest SP and heal 2 allies with lowest HP is very good. It has potential to be very good. But, like, you're never going to be able to consistently trigger what you want. Like, you can probably get heads attack and most of the time. Because, again, if you're on Ting Tang, which you should be, because it's pretty much his best ID, if you're on Ting Tang, you know, you're always going to want to be at max, so you'd probably always just use this for healing. Would I say that the healing is just good enough to have? Maybe. Depends on how much healing it is, for the most part. But, we have better healing options. I don't think we need Honglu to be a healer. We have just Fluid Sac, we have Pursuance, we have Chef passive. That's like, you know, and then like G Gregor passive, I guess, if you use him. But like, you know, for the most part, we have like enough healing to get us by, for the most part. So I don't know if I would really use this over, I don't know if I would really use this over Rosette Desire. It depends on how much healing it is, but, like, this just seems really... It seems gimmicky, if anything. Like, it seems gimmicky, if anything. Same thing with, like, the soup egos. Like, it just seems gimmicky. And probably not worth playing around. Because it's inconsistent. But, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Like, you know, let's say this spends, like, 20 sanity, right? Like, let's say this is a minus 20 ego, like normal. Like, you're at max sanity, you're gonna have a 75% chance to get this, or a 25% chance to get this. So you can never truly, like, play around what you want. You can, like, you're like, okay, wow, I really need the sanity right now. It's like, okay, but I only have a 25% chance of getting it. Unless you're, like, below max sanity for whatever reason, which you would never want to be. You're not playing at below max sanity just for this effect. I don't see what the purpose of that would be. So it's like, you know, you can never like truly play around this. Like it's way too inconsistent, I think. But it is a potential to be powerful, but like I don't know. I'm never. It's the same thing with, like, Branch of Knowledge. Like, I don't like these, like, damage control type effects, where it's, like, you know, in a bad situation, it does something to, like, you know, to help you compensate, like, you know, the compensating passive, the damage control effect. Like, I don't know. I'd rather have a win more effect, like, something that triggers when a good thing happens, because, you know, you're going to feasibly see it most of the time, versus, like, something that only triggers when a bad thing happens, because then it's like, dude, what? For what purpose? I think it would be neat if this ego had like a +0 or something, like a +0 coin power, so that you could play around both of these. I think that would be pretty cool. If it was +0 coin power, that would be awesome. But still, I don't know if it would be that good. Indiscriminate targets units with least health. Inflict Tremor, Inflict Bind. So it's just completely different on the overclock. Inflict Tremor, Inflict Bind, next turn. I mean, we appreciate Bind next turn. It's pretty good. Having Bind on demand. If this ego's cheap, okay, if this ego's cheap, I would, there was a chance I use this just for the overclock alone. If this ego is cheap. Because inflicting Bind next turn on demand is always going to be desirable. So, you know, we'll see about that. Seagull Squawking of the distant seas. When an enemy is defeated, an ally with the least sanity heals sanity. Or, when an enemy is defeated, ally with the least sanity heals sanity. Whenever an enemy is defeated, the amount of sanity healed increases by Y. Amount is reset at the start of a new wave. That's kind of, I like that. No, that's a really good support passive for mobbing. I like this. This seems pretty fire. Consistent sanity healing is going to be really good. Especially with the meta seemingly, like, moving towards more ego usage. This passive seems really good. Like, really good. So, I'll take that. Obviously useless against boss fights, though. Which is kind of a bummer, but, you know, whatever. What is... you gotta remind me what Rosette Desire passive is. I don't even remember. Target with the leftmost skill on the dashboard is inflicted with Lust Absolute Resonance over 4, Lust Fragility next turn. Okay, this is like garbage. So this is like vastly better on passive. But like it doesn't give him like I don't understand. How the hell is he supposed to crit? His passive does not give him poise. Like that's what the hell? What the hell? How is Honglu supposed to crit? Dude, true. Either for future Honglu ID or event ego, gift has something to do with crit. The worst mechanic I've ever seen. What is the purpose of this? This is so shit. Whatever. Cool. Honglu ego, I'd probably give like also like a 6. I don't know. It does not seem fantastic or anything. Nothing mind blowing. Nothing mind blowing there. Shirtless Sinclair, sure. Fierce Assault, interesting. So we have Blunt and then Pierce, sure. Sin lineup looking okay. Honestly, it's looking okay. Nothing insane or anything. Maybe on the lower end. Like I don't think most of these Sin researchers are not in like heavy contention. Gloom and Envy, like we have enough Gloom and Envy, bro. Trust me, we don't need more. So, you know, this is kind of a bummer. Gloom and Envy, but whatever. Fierce Assault, I guess 4 coin skill 1. Jesus. Okay. And then we have 1 and 2. Sure. 4 coin skill 1. Sheesh. Oh my god. Okay, I mean, I feel like this cannot be good. There is just no way. If you're giving him 4 coins on skill 1, that shit is not going to be good. Like, the coin power is going to be, like, +1 at best. I feel like. There's just no way it's going to be good. An X plus tremor count, coin, power plus Y. It's another tremor ID. Self-tremor ID, rather. On hit, gain X tremor count. Inflict tremor count. Sure. On use, gain tremor count. On hit, inflict tremor. Okay, so it's like, it's reversed. His skill 2 looks more like a setup tool for his skill 1. Interesting. And very interesting. And then we have Gamble. On hit at X plus tremor count. Spend all tremor count to inflict target with the same amount of tremor count. At less than X tremor count. Well, okay. Interesting. Gain Y tremor. Gain Y tremor. What the hell? Gain Y tremor and burst tremor on self? Deal blunt damage equal to tremor burst damage. That cannot be good. This cannot be good. There is no way. I mean, okay, it's a piercing skill that also inflicts blunt damage, I guess. But, like, this cannot be good. Unless his skill 1 is, like, Giga Nuts, there's no way. On use, gain Rupture Protection on a skill, on a guard skill. Again, confounding. I don't know what the purpose of this is. Unless, like, it's heavy Rupture, and then it's just specifically made to counter the event, which is not the greatest thing in the world, but whatever. Unstable power output. On hit with heads coins at X plus tremor count itself. Inflict Y tremor and tremor count with coin effects. Okay. No, okay, the passive is really good, potentially. Like, really good. Like, really good. Because, like, okay, on hits with heads coins at X plus tremor count on self. So basically, you know, once he gets himself charged up, inflict plus Y tremor and tremor count with coin effects. We're assuming this is going to be on his skill 1. So he can gain tremor count faster because it inflicts tremor count. So, you know, he can gain tremor count on himself faster and inflict tremor count on the enemy faster. I think that's pretty good. It's only with coin effects, so it does not affect his tremor income on his skill 2, apparently, which is a bummer because this seems like his main tremor gain skill, but I mean, I don't know. Like, this ID seems really goofy, if anything. I don't know. Extremely strange gameplay flow. I don't, like, I mean, like, okay, the passive can help you turbo out the skill 3, though. And the skill 3 is like really high payoff potential. At X plus tremor count, spend all tremor count to inflict target with the same amount of tremor count. Like, there could be an absurd amount of tremor being thrown around here. It's kind of like Talisman, I guess. Like, you stack it on yourself, then put it on the enemy. Sure. Could be a potential tremor support, but tremor is just a, like, deplorable debuff, so I don't care. And then modified power output. One ally with most HP inflicts plus X tremor with the effects of their attacks, skills, and coins. Useless, pretty much. Ally with the most HP is almost never going to be Rose Spanner. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. Rupture Protection. This ID, it's like goofy, but, you know, 3 out of 10. I'm rating his kit a 3 out of 10. Like, I have no idea, like, how this is supposed to be relevant, mostly in the meta, unless we actually really end up caring about Tremor, but I can't see us ending up caring about Tremor. I feel like it's going to be another Jack Gregor, like the sous chef Gregor. I feel like it's just another one of those situations. I cannot. I mean, dude, at least he has a gameplay flow. Like, Sous Chef Gregor does not have anything going for him except his support passive. At least this guy can, like, do some potential damage, maybe, but, like, getting the ball rolling is, like, I have no idea. Meta relevance 1 out of 10 because Gripper Sinclair exists. Kit relevance on its own, like, 3 out of 10, maybe. Like, I don't have high hopes for this guy. He is shirtless, though, which is a plus, I suppose, for all you weirdos. And then Soda, Zion, Ryoshu, and it's Gloom. Her ass does not even generate Gloom. It does it? This is Egos. Her ass does not even generate Gloom. On any of her IDs. Not even base. What? Okay. Weird. I mean, Gloom is a very easy resource to get. Most of the meta IDs have some sort of Gloom attribute on them. So it's like not terrible or anything. But it's just like strange. If nothing else, it's strange. Anyways, we have Pierce. Sure. Zion is rough because for the forest, what is it? For the forest and the flames or whatever? What the hell? What is it? Through the fire and the flames? Forest for the flames? This ego at Threadspin 4 is disgustingly good. I'm going to stand by that. I feel like maybe it's a hot take, but I don't think it's a hot take. I feel like it's really good. So this has some extremely stiff competition. Like, the Uptype 4 Forest for the Flames is like probably top 5 base egos now, in my opinion. Like, it rolls like a demon, it inflicts 2 fragile, so it's like, oh my goodness. And it's super cheap. So this is gonna be tough competition. I'm pretty sure this is the welfare ego, so, you know, make of that what you will. Anyways, on hit, inflict X sinking. Okay. On kill, gain ego resources of random affinities currently owned. All allies heal for SP. So you're trying to last hit with this to give all your allies sanity? I don't know about that. You're trying to last hit someone with a Zion ego? I mean, like, gaining ego resources back is neat, but, like, the thing is you're spending ego resources to use this to kill someone, so it's like, is it that good? I don't know. Indiscriminate targets randomly. On hit, inflict sinking. After attack, gain ego resource amp. Apply haste next turn. Nah, bro. Because you have to overclock this, so, like, ego resource amp, like, nah, bro. On hit, if target has X plus sinking, inflict defense power down. Nah, bro. Like, I don't think it's that good. There's no way. I don't know. I don't think it's that good. Like, you're telling me that if you're trying to last hit someone with this, unless they're literally 1 health, like, you know, I mean, like, her base ego is just gonna be so much better unless this thing rolls like a demon. Like, there's no way. Because, like, okay, like, you're last hitting someone with this on kill to get sanity and ego resources, but, like, okay, 1, you're spending ego resources, 2, you know, you're spending resources to get it, so gaining back ego resources randomly is not the best thing in the world. If they're, like, one-shot, just use a normal skill. Like, let's say this costs, like, you know, let's say this costs a total of 4. Like, let's say it's, like, 2 Gloom, 2 Envy or something, right? Let's say this is, like, 2 Gloom, 2 Envy. You know, you use this to last hit someone. It gives you, like, 4 ego resources. And then, you know, using it gives you a Gloom, resource. So you go +1 Gloom, right? Sure. Or, you know, let's say you just use, like, Ryoshu skill 3, like, Chef Ryoshu skill 3 to kill something, which is way easier, because there's no way this thing is going to outdamage I Can Cook Anything. So, you use Chef Ryoshu skill 3 to kill something, you don't spend the resources in the first place, and then you gain 1 lust resource. So, it's literally the same thing, you're just netting +1, like, it's the same thing. I have no idea. I don't think it can possibly be good. I mean, there's a chance that it could be niche. If this is a solid amount of sinking inflicted, it can find a home. It can find a home in sinking support teams. Because, you know, sinking teams generally, you would want to run heavy gloom generation anyway for Rhyme Shank, and you would probably use Reindeer. You know, you'd probably use Reindeer, and her skill 1 is extremely strong and has sinking on it, so, you know. Or you could use Harpoon Ishmael, she has a little bit of sinking generation, but, So, like, in a sinking team, depending on if this inflicts a worthwhile amount of sinking, you could find a home. It could be niche, but, on kill, this effect hardly matters. After attack, Research Amp and Haste is, like, fine. I don't really care for it, though, it's not that crazy. The open can is, like, fine. But, like, again, you have to run this in a dedicated, like, this is assuming you're running a sinking team, which is already extremely niche. Like, dude, I don't think it's that good. I'd say probably, like, again, like a 3. Like, it has potential to be niche. Like, okay, it has potential to be niche at best. So, I'd say like a 3. Meta relevance, I'd say probably a 1. Like, there's just, I'm almost certain this will be better, this will be worse than Forest for the Flames. I'm almost certain it will be worse. So, yeah. Anyways, on to the update. We'll blast through this thing. Server maintenance, yeah. New banner, new target extraction, new identity and ego added. Sure. Let's head on over here. Update contents, SEA. Strange seas ahead, embark on a pelagic journey. All hands on deck to remodel the bus. I remember that from the, I remember that from the, roadmap. Cool. Notice on offense and defense, level tier 4 uptie and thread spinning changes. Sure. So that's, like, the next notice that we'll get to after this one. But sure. This is the second event in a row that we have Ryoshu narrating, apparently. Sure. Notice on offense and defense level. Oh, it's over here. Okay, cool. Sure. Certain uptie 4 skills have been adjusted. Following skills, the effects did not work correctly, will be changed. Sure. Reggie Sinclair Rupturing Talisman. That's his skill 3. Coin 1 effect. On hit, spend 5, give 7. On hit, spend 5, give 5. Thank you. Thank you. On hit, if target is talisman, inflict rupture count 1. If target is talisman, inflict 3 rupture count. Okay, now we're talking. Wait, that's really good. And it no longer instantly overstacks the enemy, so it's not literally useless. People were always talking about his skill 2 overstacking him. Again, like I said in my definitive uptie 4 guide, his skill 2 overstacking him is not a problem. We don't really care about him getting, like, because the thing is, like, okay, this is, let's say this is a power chart of him at uptie 3, right? The talisman effect would basically, like, ramp up, and then you would, like, never overstack it, so it would flatline, right? It'd flatline at about, like, 5, ish, and you would just be inflicting 5 rupture with every attack, so it's long-term value, right? But then, with uptie 4, you can go up to, like, what, 9 talisman instantly, but it overstacks you, right? So, the power can go all the way, like, up here, and then, like, you know, it instantly drops back down. It instantly drops back down, basically. So, it's like, you know, it looks something like this, and then it goes down, back to 0 again. And then you use skill 2 again, it goes all the way back up, and then it drops back down, right? And I would much rather have this than this, because that means that you can play around, this power spike, which would happen in 1 turn, basically. He would inflict an insane amount of rupture, like, up front, right? Which is way better than the long-term value, right? We don't really care about long-term value. We want an insane amount of rupture at once, like, as fast as possible. So, people always talk about a skill 2 getting nerfed. Skill 2 was not the problem. Front-loading the talisman gain was not a problem. The problem was not being able to give it to the enemy. Like, that was just dumb. Like, I don't know why that was. So, this is an insanely good change. It fixes most of his problems. People were like, they were like, dude, he's unusable at uptie 4. It was untrue, but he was scuffed. So now he's definitely not scuffed. He's extremely good now, for Rupture teams. So that's very nice. And then we have Gregor, G-Corp Gregor. Clash win, damage plus 40%. If target has 5 plus rupture count, coin power plus 1. Now it's, if target has 5 plus rupture, coin power plus 1. Was this just, like, mistranslated, or they're just buffing it? I don't know. I mean, this is a really solid buff, though. 5 plus rupture count is, like, not achievable normally. Without, like, dedicated rupture strategy, it's not achievable normally. 5 plus rupture is more feasible. So, you know, this is... I still don't think it's going to be better than Liu Gregor, but in a Rupture team, he actually is a solid payoff with good consistency now, because Rupture teams can easily output 5 Rupture, so, you know, fine. Definitely a much better change, because, you know, beyond that, like, 5 plus Rupture count, like, uptie 4 for G. Gregor was not very kind. Like, that did not do much, because 5 plus Rupture count is just not achievable normally, so... notice on offense and defense levels, same thing. Sangre de Sancho fixed an issue where upon thread spinning it to tier 4, heal by X% of damage dealt did not activate. So the coin effect, the heads effect on her thing was not activating. Sure, fixed an issue where the activation condition for the skill was labeled incorrectly as heads hit and not on hit. That's on hit? No way. Did they change it to on hit? This shit says heads hit. I mean, again, the patch isn't out yet, so they have not updated the database. But yeah, it's heads hit. And I know for a fact that at Threadspin 3 it was heads hit. I know that for a fact. So I guess they're buffing it there. Not a huge buff, but it's neat. Fix an issue upon thread spinning at the tier 4. The activation condition for gain to attack power up was labeled incorrectly as after attack and on kill. This is an insane change. Dude, this is like this is probably the most egregious mistranslation they've ever had. It's like that and like meshed possibilities on the Starlight skill tree. This is like extremely fucked up. Like genuinely, like extremely fucked up. After attack and not on kill, are you shitting me? That's like, you understand the huge amount of difference this makes? Dude, you literally baited everyone with this. You baited me with this. I feel betrayed. On kill? Dude, who the fuck is killing anyone with Bodysack? That shit is not happening. Oh my god, dude. This is the most egregious, like, typographical error they've ever made in the history of the game so far. Like, that is fucked up. That is terrible, dude. That's horrible. That's so bad. Oh my god, dude. Okay, I mean, it's not even whatever. Like, my respects to the people who uptied who uptied this piece of shit. Dude, my condolences for the people who got baited by this and uptied Bodysack. I feel so fucking sad for you. That is so messed up. You literally got fucking scammed. That is actually unforgivable. That is genuinely unforgivable. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. That is deplorable. That is actually deplorable. I can't. There's no excuse. Fixed an issue where the effects of Uptide 4 activated not at 50% HP, but instead at 50% plus HP. Okay, so I guess it's bugged. They're nerfing Gross Hammer. Like, okay, this reads... It is a bug fix, but, like, in functionality, they're just nerfing Gross Hammer, which is really funny. Brainwave Focus. This is her passive. Fix an issue where the effects of Uptide 4 activated not at the start of battle, but at the start of the next turn. I did notice that. It only came up once for me, but I did notice that, so, sure, that's fine. Hardly makes a difference, but it is, you know, again, it is like a typographical error, so they're fixing it, fine. Hardly makes that much of a difference. Again, it only came up once, but, you know, consistency with the description of the skill is very important, so I'm fine with that. G-Corp Gregor fixed an issue where Heal by X did not activate. Sure, I guess. Liu Mersault fix an issue where the support passive sometimes did not activate. Sure, whatever. Bug fixes. Dude, this Bodysack, this is unforgivable. Like, I can't even put into words how messed up that is, that they mistranslated that. That is, like, actually so egregious. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that, like... I'm glad that they're finally, like, getting their shit together with the translation. Because there's a lot of translations that are just unacceptable. Like, genuinely unacceptable. Mesh Possibilities is still, like, genuinely does not even read like English. That shit is just word salad, basically. It does not even read like English because of the translation. It's just so terrible. And then Ego Gifts. Like, some ego gifts, it's not even possible to know what they do because the translation is so terrible. Like, it's like you don't even, it's not even clear what they do because the translation is just so, like, ambiguous and scuffed. So I'm finally glad that I'm glad that they're finally facing consequences for their lack of quality control on the translation, because that is, like, really frustrating. Again, I feel so bad for the people who uptied Bodysack. That is fucked. That is literally fucked. Completing a mirror dungeon too hard now allows you to collect the rewards. Perfect. People were complaining about that. I like that. Max manager levels expanded. People are level 100? Dude, you need to, like, get friends. May expand again in the future, and there's a... Yeah, okay, sure. Game engine version update. Game engine update. Fixed a value where content's download sizes were incorrectly calculated. Okay, so it's not like 2 gigabytes. Sure. Fixed an issue where unintended additional downloads were occurring. Updated game engine to correct the issue. There'll be a resource update to accommodate the version update. Sure, we recommend downloading on Wi-Fi. Whatever. Sin affinity colors adjusted. Explanation adjusted to make brightness and contrast between the different sin affinities more apparent as they were formerly of similar colors. Were they? I mean, I guess, like, it's more kind to, like, my colorblind homies, maybe. It looks kind of similar to me. No, they increased the contrast. I see it. They increased the brightness and the contrast. Alright, sure. Fine. I don't mind it. I'm glad that they at least announced it. Because maybe, like, what? Like, a month or two? It was like 2 months after launch. They changed the colors of the egos. Like, they changed the colors on the ego wheel. To make them more, like, to make them brighter than they were before. And they did not announce the change, so it was like, I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, I was really bugging out, and it took me a while, especially for me, the color difference between, Wrath and Lust, like the red and the orange on the color wheel for the egos, the colors look very similar to me, so it took me a while to figure out which was which, and they did not announce the change, which was weird, so I'm glad they're announcing it this time. You know, just generally changing changing that stuff, even if it's just visual stuff, like, and UI changes, like, why change it without putting it in the update notice? Like, why change stuff without putting it in the change log? It's just so odd. I don't know why they chose to do that, but I'm glad that they're announcing it this time. Simplified SP orb design on the center portraits. Oh yeah, I do notice that too. It's a flat color instead of the smoky orb now. I kind of like the smoky orb, honestly. I mean, I'm indifferent, but I guess it makes it easier to see. I don't know. Whatever. Change the default setting for the amount of information displayed from min to max. Sure, I like that. I wish there was a setting to display clashes by default. That is annoying as fuck that you have to do that every single time. I wish it was like Library of Ruina, where you can just, you know, that game, you just press 1, 2, and 3, all the clashes are shown for the rest of the session, by default. Like, that shit is just online for the rest of the session by default. I wish it was the same here. I didn't have to click this button every time I go into a battle, because now, like, every time I have to reset, every time I reset on Railway, I have to click this damn button. Annoying as hell. That's a change that I wish would happen. Bug fixes, we'll blast through these quick. Fix an issue where Dead Center support passive would still activate in combat, sure. Fix an issue where the wolf plushie did not work as intended. Did not specify what work as intended means, so I'm just assuming they did something to it. Fix an issue where tutorial UI element, sure, whatever. Fix an issue where upon successfully using evade skill for a second time, an additional corresponding Sin Affinity Ego resource was collected. Is this not what that's about? When you recycle evade, it's not supposed to give you more ego resources. I was abusing the hell out of that in Mirror Dungeon, for the record. I was abusing the fuck out of that for the Uptie 4 evades. I guess that's a bug. You're not supposed to get extra resources when it recycles. I mean, makes sense. Makes sense, but I mean, I didn't realize that was a bug. English build. Fix an issue where Mirror of Mirrors difficulty denominations were duplicated. Sure, I don't know what that means. Fix an issue where description of Dawn Skill 3 was lacking keyword designation for declared duel. I did notice that. That was really weird. I don't know why that was missing. That was like an extremely egregious oversight. It literally just said like start a duel on her coin, and there was no description for the dual debuff, so it was like, dude, what the hell? I don't understand that. Good fix. I don't know how did this even make it past launch in the first place? Don't ask me. Fix an issue where Fairy Gentleman skill not this time was skewed, targeting priorities. Was that the one where it's supposed to target the fairy wine? It says like prioritizes fairy wine, and it just didn't. I don't remember. There was, like, an issue with that, though. I don't know if that's the skill, but if it is, that's a good change. Mirror Dungeon. Fix an issue where players could get stuck in healing choice screen because all sinners are full health. Never happened to me, but that is annoying as fuck if that does happen. Fix an issue where when a sinner gets targeted as a sub-target in AoE, activates a defensive skill, they're able to pull the main targeting aimed at another sinner. What the fuck? That's odd. Okay, good fix. Before at the start of the turn after the adjusted ego corrosion end order. Okay. At the start of the next turn after the turn where the sinner corroded. At the end of the turn where the sinner corroded. Is there a difference? I don't know if there's like a major... Is there a major difference in the interaction? I don't think there's... Like, the main interaction I'm thinking of is like ignoring stagger threshold with corrosion. But I'm pretty sure it would still work just fine with this change. I don't know if that changes much. The start of the next turn... Before it's at the start of the next turn. Now it's at the end of the turn. I don't know if that changes much. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sure. If this changes anything, like I'm trying to think of like all the application cases for this, and I can't think of any major interaction that changes with this. So I mean, if you know something I don't, then do please let me know. Like I don't know if this actually changes anything. Fix an issue where the certain Abno's appearances would not change if their parts were broken. Yeah, I did notice this. I like this. Please continue to add this back. I liked when the Abno's parts were broken and you could see it. Fix an issue where in focused encounters, so Abno encounters, the enemy's guard animation would not play. Interesting. Fix an issue where certain text would not display when hit conditions. Okay. Fix an issue where after uptying one who grips Faust to uptie 4 and activating her passive whistles, the Easter egg regarding the Sinclair would not play. Sure. Fix an issue where after using Ego Corrosion skill to win a battle, the Sin SP would not reset to 0. I noticed this, for sure. I noticed that a lot, especially with Sinclair is the main person who, would benefit from this. Because before, they would, if you win a battle while corroded, they would not reset to 0. They would just remain corroded, and he would basically just get stun locked. He would just get stun locked in permanent corrosion, which would be really stupid. So, yeah, this is an insanely good change. I don't know why it was like that in the first place, but yeah, extremely positive change, especially the last one, so I like that. And then, oh, bugs currently being fixed. I missed that. Okay, we keep scrolling, I suppose. Cool. Following bugs will be fixed on August 3rd, so the next update. Issue where the effects of Sancdon, declared duel, increased cash power does not activate. Okay, so these are just bugs they're aware of. Issue when attacking the Doomsday Idol with Ardor Blossom Star would make it look as though clashes were continuing after death. Extremely niche, but I suppose. Issue where the Revived K-Corp class comes back with 1 HP. Issue where Sanity regenerates at negative 45. I've not come into contact with like any of these bugs personally, but I mean, yeah. These are some pretty major bugs. Especially, like, what the fuck? What is this? I've never seen this, but that's, like, an extremely, not game-breaking as in, like, extremely overpowered, but game-breaking as in, like, it literally just breaks the rules of the game. Like, once you hit corrosion, you're not supposed to ever regenerate from corrosion, so that's really odd. Game-breaking, not in terms of power, but in terms of just the mechanic. Then we get Lunacy Comp. Then we get some event details, I suppose. When the event starts, you know, the chapter will open. During event period, you can earn bus modifying scrap. Sure. Redeem various awards from the scrap box. Based on the number of bus modifying scrap you have. Sure. Event currency. Sure. Event gameplay. I'll breeze over this quickly. I'm sure you've read it yourself. You can earn bus modifying scrap, blah, blah, blah. Yup. There are stages in the event that are made to be played repeatedly. Yup, because they have higher rank and found the ratio, they are much more effective. Some stages will only up once you collect. This is all the same from Hell's Chicken. Where to collect it? Stages. Rewarded based on amount of event consumed. EX clear rewards. Yup. Repeated stages have increased drops. Stages with boss enemies will have increased drops. This is new. Repeated stage will have increased drops, and stage with boss enemies will have increased drops. That is new. Compared to Hell's Chicken. Sure. Like that. So they're reducing the grind a little bit there. That's cool. Main story stages and dungeons. Yeah, that's the same. Mirror dungeons and Lux do not give it. Yeah, final stage that appears after finishing the story is the stage that is high. Yeah, and will disappear once the event is over. Stage does not count towards chapter completion rewards. Sure. So the farming stage is now there. It was the case before, but people were confused on what to farm. Now now it's pretty impossible to be confused what to farm, because PM is literally just telling you the last stage, the final stage that appears after finishing the story has a high ratio. Guys, farm the last stage. People were like, dude, I don't know what stage to farm. You're supposed to farm the last dungeon, bro. It's simple. Just farm the last stage. But now they're confirming it, so no more questions. Special scraps. Stages where you can earn scraps also has a small chance to drop a rare horseshoe and bus modifying scrap. I see. Drop rate is higher in event stages. Sure. Item will immediately be exchanged for 20 bus modifying scrap upon completing the reward. Okay, so now there's a little bit of high roll potential. I like this. It's a simple yet fun change. A simple yet fun change. Because now you can be like, dude, I got like 5 of these. I got 5 of the rare scraps. So now I get like 100 of these. Like, imagine. That's pretty good. I like that. That's a fun change. And then, yeah, we have, you know, during the event, blah, blah, blah. Sure. Can you fit Molar in here? I suppose you can, huh? Molar, Boatworks, Fixer, or Sinclair? I'm kidding. But yeah, Sinclair is the welfare ID. Soda is the Soda Ryoshu is the welfare ego. Sure, yeah. And then obviously, reminder, just so you know, just so you know, you only need to have them on your team when you enter the dungeon. You do not need to use them. Like, the strategy for Hell's Chicken with, like, remember Chef Gregor was, like, so egregiously unusable, in that dungeon? The strategy was to bring him into the dungeon, but to not use him. You would just bench him and give 2 slots to, like, Rabbit or something. So, same thing. With Sinclair, you bring him into the dungeon, but your ass does not need to use him. Right? Same thing with the egos. You just need to have them equipped. You don't need to actually use them or anything to get the bonus. You just need to have them. Alright? So, again, in the dungeon, just, like, bring Sinclair, but then just give, like, W Dawn or something 4 slots. Or, not 4 slots, but give her the 5th slot. Bring, like, 4 sinners, including Ishmael you'd probably use. But, you know, you don't have to use Sinclair in order to get the bonus. Having IDs and ego from the event on your team, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Alright. And then, event rewards, sure. Nice and nuclear radiation green on the UI. Alright, I mean, makes sense. The more scrap you collect, yeah, sure, whatever. Scroll me down. Once the event ends, you'll no longer be able to obtain the scrap. Yep. Scrap box is open until the event ending, and you can no longer redeem rewards. Please be mindful. After the event fully ends, you'll be able to experience combat encounters and view the story. Yep. Same as Hell's Chicken. Sure. Seems fine by me. And then, how much more do we have, bro? Oh my god. We have, this. Compensation for Heathcliff Ego Bodysack. Perfect. Dude, fuck that shit, bro. I still, it's pretty much unforgivable. It's almost unforgivable. The typographical error. That is stupid as hell, like, actually. Like, actually. So, as we correct our labeling mistake, we understand we would have considered would be acceptable. We again apologize to managers that's thread spun. Yeah, you better apologize. That's like unacceptable almost, like, pretty much. By the way of our apology, we'd like to compensate all managers for costs that have been gone into thread spinning. Sure. From now on, we'll take greater care to take into consideration which effects and mistakes have on players' experiences, and we will further diligently verify future updates. Please do. Please do. Translation is one of the easiest things to fix. Literally, typographical errors in translation is one of the easiest things to fix. And, like, simple translation errors like these cause extreme problems. Like, genuinely. Like you can see. Like, translation errors cause extreme amounts of problems. So, you know, it's not that hard. I mean, I heard that they were low on translators. To be fair, I heard that they were low on translators. So it's not, like, completely unreasonable that they would miss translations. It's not completely unreasonable, but, like, you know, this has been, like, an ongoing problem for a while, the translation quality. And now it's finally having a genuine impact on the players, which is, you know, really sad to see, because it's just sloppy mistakes. It's just a sloppy mistake, man. And, like, a stupid mistake. Like, and now you have to pay out a ton of people because of a stupid mistake. Like, you know, and now, like, even though you're paying out a bunch of people are like, yeah, this is so generous. But, like, the people who, it does not change the fact that the people who did uptype Bodysack still got shafted. They still got shafted. Because now they're just net neutral again. I mean, they get lunacy, but, like, they're just net neutral on shards and thread. I'm pretty sure it's like 80 ego shards and then like 110 thread or something. So they do go slightly positive, but, like, overall they still get shafted for, like, the end of the story is that they still uptied Bodysack, right? It's like, it rubs me the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way. I don't know, but if they say that they're going to be more diligent with the quality control on the translation, that is a good sign. I'm glad, at least, you know, at least they finally made this mistake, and there's a tangible repercussion for it. Like, so that they actually know, like, this is something we need to prioritize with the translations. Like, this is something that needs to be prioritized. So I'm glad that they now finally recognize it, because hopefully going into the future there will be less translation issues like this. I hope. And then we have update notice. Sure. Whatever. Adjustments to IDs, eco, offense, and defense levels. Oh my god, there's so much. After update, IDs and eco, blah blah blah. We apologize for confusion. Have been adjusted to match the values of previous version of level 35. IDs and eco skills of growth stats are 0.8. The highest ones were 0.83. The highest growth stat, have gained an additional level. Moreover, significantly lower, we have razor stats. Sure, fine. Sprouting Bud, that's his skill 1. Offense level goes to +4. Sure. Sinner Faust, all of her skills get +1. Sure. W Corp Faust Guard gets +2. Sure. +3 instead of +2. That's a big change. I like that. LobCorp Faust Evade, defense level modifier -4 to 0. Is that real? I mean, that's funny. Cackling, Gripping, and Slay, from +2 to +4. Alright, sure. Such Filth, going from, -1 to 0, sure. Sinner Dawn gets +1 to everything, sure. Buffing the evade of W Corp Dawn, not opposed to that. She Dawn, evade getting buffed, okay. Mittelhammer Dawn, guard getting buffed, sure. 7 section Ryoshu on all of her skills. Getting +2 on everything. I like that. I love that. W Mersal guard getting buffed, sure. Sure. Kurakumo Honglu defense, sure. Liu Honglu, sure. Kleinhammer, sure. Warning, that's his counter skill, right? Warning is his counter skill. That getting buffed is pretty decent. And then guard on LCCB Ishmael getting buffed, sure. Nothing like insanely huge. Like, it's just like they didn't correctly calculate. They did not correctly calculate initially the transition from the old system to the new system. So now they're just changing the new system to be more in line with the old system. It's fine. We take those. There's even more. Okay. There's even more. Okay. Sloshing Ishmael getting buffed by +1 on everything, sure. LCCB manager Rojian getting buffed to everything. Still not going to be a good ID, don't get it twisted. Mittelhammer Rogia, sure. Rose Spanner, defense level on preheat. Okay, I mean we're never using Rose Spanner guards, so it hardly matters. LCB Sinner Sinclair, for all my base Sinner only players, that's pretty good. Zwei Sinclair, guard, we do not care. Coerced Judgment, love to see this. Amoral and Amoral Judgment, this skill is called Amoral Enactment. It's not called Amoral Judgment, it's called Amoral Enactment. Get it right, P-Moon. Self-Destructive Purge, getting +1. Okay. Buffing Gripper Sinclair. Pog. Anyways. Sinner Otis, getting buffed. Her defense level on her evade is -4. Jesus. 7 section Otis. I'll take the lead. That's the guard skill. Sure. Liu Gregor. Love to see offense level buff on Liu Gregor. Huge. Guard skill, not so much. But, you know, it is what it is. Liu Gregor offense level matters so much because his coin values are not very good. So, this is huge on a Liu ID. Rose Spanner Workshop Fixer Gregor, sure. Mersault Screw Loose Wallop getting buffed, and Dimension Shredder getting buffed. Okay, we take those. Small buffs here or there, small tweaks. Certain uptie skill effects adjusted. Yeah, this is the same as before. Yeah, this is the same as before. And then we have Lunacy Comp. And is that it? Yeah. Yeah, alright, we're done. We're done. Yay! Alright, I'm very excited for the event. For the record, I love these side events. Because the side events, they can do, like... I mean, it's, like, quote-unquote, like, non-canon, I suppose. Or, like, you know, it's not like... It's, like, loosely canon, right? It's not like, what's it called? It's not like strictly canon, like the main story chapters. It's, like, loosely canon. So, I like, I like these side events. I'm very excited for these. Because this is when they can really go nuts with the character writing, and they don't have to take it 100% seriously, like in the story, like the main story. So, I love that. I'm a big fan of these, so I'm excited. Probably gonna stream it, obviously. But yeah, Ishmael, not super high hopes in meta relevance. She does look neat, though. Like, she does look interesting to play with. She has an extremely unique gameplay function. But again, it depends hard on a lot of her numbers here. You know, it depends a lot on all of these numbers I'm highlighting. Is like, it depends on. Like, all of these numbers. Like, all of these numbers are extremely important to see how good she will be. So, you know, and then in the end, she's competing with Reindeer. It's just like a hopeless, comparison to make. I feel like Reindeer is just like a 10 out of 10 ID now. So, whatever. Soda Hong Lu. Interesting. If nothing else, interesting. I suppose it does, it's kind of like you're pulling from the Wellcheers machine in LobCorp. I do remember, you would just get, like, a random soda. Like, quote-unquote random. You could send them in for, I don't remember the names of all the works. I know White is Insight. If you sent them in for White, it would heal their sanity. If you sent them in for Red, it would heal them for health. And then there was, like, you know... If you sent them for, like, purple, they would just insta-die, but it is what it is. I don't remember, but, you know, it is simulating that, so I kind of respect it. But, like, gameplay-wise, not the most exciting thing in the world. The passive has potential to be pretty decent, but again, against boss fights, it's completely useless. For the most part, I'm just looking at the overclock for this. Because, again, Bind on Demand is appreciated. Bind on Demand is appreciated. So, and you could unstable overclock it potentially, or corrode it. Indiscriminate targets with least HP at least has some control over it. It's not like indiscriminate. So, you know, fine. But, you know, niche, if anything. Boatworks Fixer Sinclair, it's just another Bistro Gregor. I feel like it's just another Bistro Gregor. Nothing special here. To me, it looks way too gimmicky. Like, there's just way too much going on in his kit, and it does not do that much. So, I feel like, you know, probably just another guy you take into the dungeon, but never actually use. And then Soda Ryoshu is just, like, weird. Like, just weird. Just overall weird, man. I don't know, like, there's just a lot going on, and then nothing going on at the same time. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you know, there's a lot of words. But they don't do anything. Like, why on kill on a Zion ego is just never happening, man. Like, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, overall, very positive. Again, I'm glad about this Heathcliff change, because, like, translation errors are in my opinion, like, it's, like, almost unacceptable. They do get some slack because, you know, I'm cutting them some slack because, one, small indie company, two, they're not used to live service games, so they're struggling to keep up with their small staff base. They're struggling to keep up for sure. Especially, they doubled the rate of ID releases. It used to come out every other week. Now it's every week there's a new ID. Like, that is crazy. I wish they would dial it back a little bit, honestly. For, like, quality control reasons and stuff like that. Like, please, PM, we don't... You can chill. I know you're making a lot of money, but you can chill, bro. Like, please. I prefer quality over quantity. And people, like, stuff like this happens. If you're rushing stuff like this happens. And I would prefer if stuff like this didn't happen. Because it's just a stupid mistake that slips through the cracks, right? It's a stupid mistake that slips through the cracks, and it causes an insane amount of controversy, and now you have to pay off a shit ton of people, right? Like, I don't know. This could just be avoided if you just take your time. I don't... Like, just take your time with the game is my take. Like, quality over quantity. We don't need a new ID every week. I'm fine with getting an ID every other week if it means that we can avoid incidents like this, where just, like, people just get shafted for like, preventable reasons. Honestly. So this is like, you know, this is a shitty feeling for everyone involved, except for, I guess, like the people who didn't uptie Bodysack, like me. I guess. I mean, I just go plus 100 ego shards, plus 200 thread, plus 1300 lunacy. So I mean, I guess I shouldn't, like, objectively I shouldn't be complaining because I get free stuff. But like, just in the grand scheme of things, you know, this should not have had to happen in the first place. Very preventable mistake. Silly mistake that they made. And then, you know, the new patch, with the balance changes, not really many thoughts about that. Thankfully, they're, quote-unquote, like, fixing, Sinclair. That's the main thing. They're unnerfing him, I guess. Pretty funny. And then +3 rupture count. Very good. Very good. Triples the rupture count. Love to see that. That is actually really strong. So we take those. We take those. But yeah, overall, pretty excited. Very excited for the new patch. Very excited for the new event. I'm loving this. I think this is really, really hype. So, you know, let me know what you think as per usual. But, you know, until then, signing off.